Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Lily, and I am so happy that you are here with me today. In today's video, I am going to do a flip through of my newest altered A Little Golden Book junk journal, and this one is the Thumbelina story. I have recently finished it, and I can't wait for you to see every single detail in this junk journal. I'm pointing out that I have saved the golden spine, and it is one of the features of my altered little golden book junk journals where I keep that iconic golden spine. I do have a video as to how I create these covers by saving that golden spine. It is a video that I made last year, 2022, so if you'd like to go see that, I will have all relevant videos listed down below. I'm pointing out all of the beautiful little features that I've added to the front cover. I've added this beautiful paper flower and then this metal book plate with a gold embossed stamped word that reads Perfection, and that is from a Tim Holtz stamp. I'm pointing out that I use some of my favorite gold trim on the edge of the front cover, and this is the last of it that I have. I am completely out. I don't have any more, so I'm going to hoard it, and hopefully I can come across this trim again. There are I always say photo corners, book corners on all four corners of the book. The book has a spine which measures 1¼ inches. It does have a little bit of an alligator mouth. I have tied it loosely with this gold satin ribbon. There are 2 signatures, and from the center of each signature, which have been bound with some hemp twine, I have added an assortment of beads, some that I have made, and then there's also some wooden beads and some glass beads. I really like the way those paper beads turned out. I actually gold embossed the edges so it looks like little gold beads on the ends, but it's all just handmade, and I love the way, the more I practice making those, the better they're turning out. I've added a beautiful crown charm to the bowl clip at the top, also with this tassel, completely removable. It is temporary there. And then pointing out the 2 different signatures, and also that the gold spine, which I have reinforced to protect it. This is a vintage 1981 little golden book. And so it was a little bit weathered, it's a little bit aged, and to reinforce it so that it doesn't fall apart, I added some clear tape to the outside and the inside of the cover to keep it together. Then I also added a little bit more of my favorite scallop trim to the back, and then did some gold waxing around the edges of the back and also on the front. Love the way this turned out, you guys. If I miss anything as I go through the journal, please let me know down below. Leave me a comment, leave me a question, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I want to let you know that this journal will be available in my Etsy shop, and so it should be up by now by the time I have this video up. So if you'd like to go and take a look at that, my link to my Etsy shop will be down below. The inside cover has only been slightly altered by reinforcing the inside of the spine, and then I covered it with some beautiful scrapbooking paper that has the gold foil hearts, and I'm kind of showing you how that shimmers in the light. And then I didn't cover the inside of the book cover. I wanted to leave that intact to clearly show that this was a little golden book. I mean, it's hard not to see that it is. But I also wanted to save the fact that this little book belonged to a child named Janet. I'm going to say it's a child. I'm going to assume it is. A little girl named Janet. So her name is still handwritten there. I just think that is so cute. And then I have added a little pocket, a little tuck spot, and I made like a specimen card from some old film strips that I have. That I purchased from a thrift store a while back. And so I just got busy and I started making a few of these. I sandwiched some vellum between the little, what is that, photo frame, and then added a Tim Holtz butterfly. Each of my journals has now, includes one of my signature Little House envelope pockets, and I'm just pointing out all the little dangles that I've added to that paper clip. A crown button a little, some purple sari silk, and then a little purple charm on there that reads love. If you'd like to see videos as to how I make these little house envelope pockets, that will be linked down below. It is a floating pocket, and you can journal on the back if you wish. But I love making these, you guys. They are so stinking cute. I've got a whole series of them, and I will link those down below. I think I even have a playlist. And so if you go over to my home channel on my YouTube, you'll see a playlist for all of the different little house envelope pockets that I have made. In the pocket, I tucked in a bookmark. This one I made like in 2020. And it was just kind of floating around in my stash. And so I just pulled it and threw it into that pocket. And then I also made some tags, which I die cut from a Tim Holtz die set, tucking them in. And I love adding these little house pockets to the very first page of all of my journals. And I've been doing so now for almost a year. I just love the way that looks. It's a nice little welcoming when you first open that page. And oh, just love how everything turned out. Right here, I tucked in a poem which is titled Around the Corner, and it is a poem written by Charles Hanson Towne. It is a pretty deep poem, you guys. Do you want me to read it to you? I will read you the poem, okay? I'll have to skip over a few of the pages, so if I miss anything, just let me know down below. But I have to read it to you. It's kind of deep, but it's pretty impactful, okay? Around the corner, I have a friend in this great city that has no end. Yet days go by and weeks rush on, and before I know it, a year is gone. And I never see my old friend's face, for life is a swift and terrible race. He knows I like him just as well as in the days when I rang his bell and he rang mine. We were younger then, and now we are busy, tired men. Tired with the playing a foolish game. Tired with trying to make a name. Tomorrow, I say, I will call on Jim, just to show that I am thinking of him. But tomorrow comes and tomorrow goes, and the distance between us grows and grows. Around the corner, yet miles away. Here's a telegram, sir. Jim died today. And that's what we get and deserve in the end. Around the corner, a vanished friend. Charles Hanson Towne. You guys, that was deep. And that left a mark, okay? That left a serious mark, because we all... I'm not going to say we all. I am guilty of not being a better friend and reaching out to those people I care about more often. And that reminded me of every single friend that I have not called on lately. So I hope you enjoy that poem. It's one of my favorites. And so that will be in this junk journal. This is a hand-stamped journaling card with that bunny stamped on watercolor paper. I left it as it is so that you can color it and make it your own. There are several little tabs that I've included throughout the junk journal, and they are just they are linen trims that I've stapled onto some of the pages. I've left the story intact, and it's all in order. I did have to trim about a ½ an inch from the right side of the pages, just so they can fit nicely into the cover. But it did not cut into the story. The story was left intact, and so it is there. But after all, even if I had cut into it, because I have in the past when I worked on other little golden books, these are altered books, and some of the pages may be saved and others may not, but these now serve as background pages so that you are free to layer on top of them. You can add photographs and even more journaling right onto the graphics of the little golden book storyline. So don't be afraid to cover and layer on top of that. But if it's the story you want, for this one, the story is intact, and it's a great story. I've used old ledger paper and then also vintage music paper. You'll see those sprinkled throughout. Oh, and this old dot matrix paper. It is perforated at the top. If you don't want that to come apart, you can use some washi tape to reinforce it, just like I did at the bottom, to kind of make a tuck spot. And then I did stitch it at the bottom to hold some little goodies in there. I added some acetate with some gold foiling on it. And then I also came across in my stash these sight cards. And this one happens to be a frog. And I thought it was fitting because of the storyline. You know, was it a frog or a toad that kidnapped Thumbelina and wanted her to marry him? I can't remember if it was a frog or a toad, but that frog card I thought was perfect in there. These are junk mail envelope pockets, which I ink and embossed. I do have a video showing you how I make these, linked down below. And I glued it down so that it serves as a tuck spot, but also as a pocket. And so I put in one of my own hand-drawn and kind of painty tags in there into that pocket. So those were fun to make. In fact, I made so many of those pockets, you guys, that I used up every single junk mail envelope that I had. But I have some great friends that sent me some, and so now I can start all over again making some more. This is a really cute postcard. It's an old one that I've had from Daiso since around, I don't know, 2016 or so. But it is a water lily. And so how perfect is that? Because, you know, Thumbelina was floating around, floating on the water in the lily pad. So that was pretty cool. I've recently made some packaging tags. I made some last year, 2022, but then I made some again just recently. I have a video showing you how I do that. And this was from Ephemera Packaging, and I just collaged over it and added some trim. And I love the way these turned out. And I didn't want to hide the fact that they were made from tags. And so you can, in some of the tags that I made, and this one as well, you can clearly tell that it was repurposed. And it used to be, you know, a packaging, ephemera packaging. Here are all the different beads dangling from the center of the signatures. I just love the way those look. And I used hemp twine to bind the signatures. That paper was a coincidence that paper, scrapbooking paper, matched the story paper, the graphics, purely coincidental. A vintage sales order sheet that I think my sister gave me in Happy Meal when I was living in California. I made my own little postcard. I do have a stamp, and then I stamped it on some Anna Griffin cardstock, pretty heavy duty scrapbooking paper, so it has a nice weight to it. I was playing around with texture paste recently, and I used a butterfly stencil with some turquoise texture paste. And I know it's pretty random, but it's a little bit of junkiness that I added to the journal. Why not? It is a junk journal. So let's add a little bit of junk. I'm going to keep this vellum quote card into the... I had it on the side, but I liked it so much, I just added it to that journal and just put it right there on that paper clip. Here is another one of those little photo slide specimen cards that I made. And then an old dictionary page, and I chose the word circumstance. I thought it was fitting for Thumbelina. I came across a notepad at the thrift store recently, and I love it. It's a flower pot with lilies in it, and right there you can see that it says Lily. How perfect is that? And then I was also playing around with some note papers that I've had for a long time. I didn't know what to do with those. So I grabbed a couple sheets of note paper, folded them in half, stapled them, and made a little booklet. Used an old hydrangea Stampin' Up! Rubber stamp. And then added some stickers. And now it is a little writing booklet for extra writing space tucked into that little pocket from that dot matrix paper. This is a little prayer card that I received in Happy Mail from Carla at Pinky Sugar Artsy. If you're not familiar with Carla and her Pinky Sugar Artsy channel, oh my gosh, her work is amazing. She loves working with lace, and she likes the shabby. I'm going to say shabby. I don't think she calls it shabby, but oh my gosh, she's got a beautiful style. Beautiful. So go check her out. This is something I came across in my stash. I made these years ago from a single sheet of book page and then folded it up, folded the corners to make little pockets, and then trimmed the corners up above to make it look like a tag. And then it's meant to fold over on a page just the way I had it, and then held in place with the paper clip. It's pretty cool. In hindsight, I should have doubled it up so it's not so fragile, because that single page is kind of old, so kind of delicate. And so if I ever make those again, I will use a sturdier type of paper or double up on book page to make those. But I really like the way that looks. And I'm sure I was inspired by someone that I saw making these, because I don't think I would have come up with that. Please don't give me that much credit, you guys. Someone else created that, and I'm sure that I was inspired to make it. That was pretty cool. That note paper, that really long paper, that was pretty cool. It had the days of the week, and I just folded it up in that pocket for extra journaling. In this doily, I'm adding a recipe card. I love the recipe cards, you guys. I love adding them in the junk journals for recipes or note-taking or journaling. And then I also added this really cute card. And it was from a 52 card deck that I purchased at a thrift store a while back. And it's 52 different places or ideas for places in the city of San Francisco. And this one happens to give you places where you can go and shop for used books, like used bookstores. So I thought that was pretty cool. So tuck that into that doily pocket. And this is the day or the project I made. I can't even talk anymore. I was playing with texture paste, and a friend of mine had given me a whole bunch of these pink envelopes, and I just got texture paste happy. Was playing around, experimenting, exploring with my texture pastes, and it was so much fun. I made a whole bunch of these envelopes, and how pretty it looks. It just looks so good on this page as a flip out. This is an offcut from one of the 12 by 12 papers that I used in this signature, and so I just saved it to tuck into that spot. And that, my friends, was signature number 1. We will now start with signature number 2. I'm going to use a pin to kind of keep signature number 1 closed, so as I flip through the second one, there is a clear pocket that I glued down to hold this coin envelope, which I made from a Tim Holtz die. And then this is a stamp I just recently purchased from Etsy. I believe the shop is Desert Stamp Company. It is a Viva Las Vegas stamp, and it reads, "That's a horrible idea. What time?" I'm guilty of that, you guys. You tell me it's a horrible idea, or I tell you it's a horrible idea, but I'm still going to do it. Like when my sister asked me if I wanted to go hiking to a waterfall up the canyon, and it was, like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I really wasn't feeling it. But yeah, I said, "What time?" She's like, "Hey, do you want to go hiking in the morning?" I'm like, "I really don't feel like it." "Okay, what time?" So that is the first thing I thought of when I saw this stamp, and so I had to have it. So I think we all can relate to it. It's a horrible idea. Okay, what time? And I love this layout right here, you guys. This is my favorite page right here. I inserted that umbrella paper just because I love it. It's random, but I love the way it looks. And I tucked in this watercolor card, which is designed by Susie Plantamera. Susie is an artist, and she usually designs for Simon Says Stamp. And I have purchased several of her watercolor cards, and they are on a sturdy watercolor paper. So that is there for you to play with. And this is note paper for my own personal stash. I love this note paper. It comes from one of my favorite stationery companies online called Sugar Boo and Company, and that's where that came from. So I'm just sharing some of my personal prized stationery stash with you guys. Just love it. More linen trim tab, that is doubled up there, make it nice and sturdy. And then I purchased a while back some of these craft envelopes. They are a number 10 envelope, and I just love, love, love these. I did some stamping on it and then did a little collage cluster with some Tim Holtz ephemera, and then tucked in the pocket an old announcement greeting card. And this is a change of address card that you would mail out when you had a new address. But I loved the graphics on it. That cute little house on the front. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's from the Heartline Hallmark Company. So I'm adding that in there for you. And that was a thrift find. A lot of the stuff that is in this journal comes from thrift finds, antique boutiques, and let's see, yeah, sometimes yard sale finds. So a little bit of old, a little bit of new, and a little bit of junk is what I like to use in my journals, and also for my own personal stash. Like that yellow striped paper, that is vintage scrapbooking paper that I picked up at an antique boutique. This is the other side, or did I think I used two a dot matrix paper in each of the signatures. And then tucked in a vintage edition card. And then I die cut 2 Rolodex cards for you to play with. I love working with Rolodex cards, and those are pretty scrapbooking papers, and they coordinate so well with the colors of the graphics of the story. Some of the scrapbooking papers are new, and some of them are more than 20 years old. The center of signature number 2, some more doily, and that doily is removable. I just folded it over into that pocket and held it in place with a paper clip. This little postcard is just like the other one on the frog page. That is colored. It's a colored water lily, but this one's left so that you can color it yourself. That was my phone. I didn't put it on silent. A beautiful acetate card with that floral design and the gold foil. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I just love the acetate with the gold foil on it. So there's 2 of them in this journal. And then I love these pink envelopes so much, I added a second one. Added some stickers and then a hand-stamped note card. I just took one of my stamps, used some green archival ink on some cream colored paper. And this one has some beautiful gold texture paste on it. And that's also in the video from a couple days ago where I'm playing around with texture paste. And that is more pretty paper from that Dollar Tree paper pad. So if you got your hands on this, you are lucky, because I only found 2. Did I really say that? And so that was really nice. I wish I would have found more. I went to so many different Dollar Trees looking for them. My sister found 1 and I got 2. So, and there's one with the little animals on it. Oh my gosh. So I did get that one, the one with the little animals. Oh my gosh, so cute. Some Dayspring note paper for my personal stash with a nice little prayer on the front. And I know this is kind of random. This is a repurposed paper bag, which I texture paste on it with the bird stencil. But the reason I added it is because, remember, the sparrow saved Thumbelina's life and rescued her and flew her to paradise where she met the little king or the prince. And so I thought this was fitting. And you could staple it. You could cut it up and use it in other areas. I know it's random, but for me, it made sense to add it to this journal. And see, this is where the little prince gives Thumbelina the crown, and that's why you'll see the little crowns in there, which was by happenstance. I reached for the little crown. I'm like, I need to use these crowns somewhere, and how perfect that it lined up with this story. An old bridge scoring card with some Tim Holtz ephemera. Again, keeping in theme with Thumbelina, you know, the mushrooms, the toad, the frog, and then the sparrow. That reads, "You're pretty awesome," because don't forget you are. And Thumbelina is free to marry the prince. This is a journaling card which I found on the floor of my mother's kitchen. And I asked if it belonged to anyone, and I left it out there for a while. No one claimed it, so now it's mine, and now it's yours. And it's not dirty or anything. It was on the floor, but it was perfect. It is not dirty. It is not stained. And I took care of it for a while, and now it lives in this journal. This is the very end of the junk journal, the very last page. And this is really cool. I found a notepad at the thrift store, which was made from natural fibers and banana fiber. So this is Costa Rican banana fiber paper. How cool is that? That was a great find at the thrift store. And this postcard reads, "Life is tough, but so are you." How perfect is that for the theme of this storybook? I'm not going to tuck this banana paper into that little tuck spot. I'm now just going to clip it because I think I like the way it looks better clipped onto the umbrella paper. I glued a DIY vellum envelope. That means that I made the vellum envelope. I used to have some, but I don't have any anymore. So now I just make my own with either vellum or tracing paper. And then I tucked in the pocket a shipping label, which you can reuse. I just love the colors. I love that hot pink and that mint green color, and I love the way they look in the envelope. So how cute is that? And that, my friends, is the end of the flip through. Oh, I love it. And this is really, working on this one has really gotten my creative juices flowing so that I can work on several more. I do plan on working on a whole bunch more. I'm not working on them all at once. I'm kind of giving them all one-on-one attention. So that you'll see them kind of come through, you know, little by little. But yeah, oh my gosh, so excited. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you so much. Let me know what you think. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you love it, share it with your friends. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.